The last class, we have studied about class B output stage, right? In that one, we have studied about its circuit operation, transfer characteristics, power dissipations, and all those things. Now, you observed that in class B, there will be a small crossover distortion is present, and the crossover distortion of a class B, that is, we can reduce the crossover distortion in class B. The crossover distortion of class B output stage can be reduced by employing a high gain op amp, okay, by employing a high gain op amp and overall negative feedback and applying a overall negative feedback that has been shown in this figure. Okay, now suppose if you will apply the plus or minus 0.7 volts, plus or minus 0.7 deadband is reduced to plus or minus 0.7 divided by A naught, that is output voltage gain volts, then you can say where this A naught is nothing but it is the DC gain of the op amp. When we will apply like this, the slew rate limitation of the op amp will cause the alternate tuning on and off of the output transistor, which has to be noticeable, and especially at the high frequencies. Okay, and next, single supply operation. The class B can be also operated from a single power supply. Okay, the class B can be operated from a single power supply, and in which case the load is specially coupled as shown in this figure. Okay, the load is coupled, or you can say is capacitively coupled, which has been shown in this figure, like this in this figure. Okay, and note that to make the more precise operation, we have given a single power supply. That single power supply is denoted by 2 times VCC. Okay, this is how the circuit looks like when class B output stage operated with a single power supply. Now, the next one is class AB output stage. So far you have studied class B output stage. In class AB output stage, you can say when crossover distortion can be virtually eliminated. Okay, in this class AB output stage, the crossover distortion can be virtually eliminated by applying a small quiescent bias on each output transistor. We are going to apply a small quiescent bias on each transistor, on each output transistor. Okay, this creates a class AB output stage that has been shown in the figure. So that which has been occurred a small crossover distortion that has been occurred in the class B output stage, that is up to 0.5. You are having a crossover distortion or dead band that can be reduced here, virtually eliminated by applying a small quiescent bias on each output transistor for zero input signal, and that will create a class B output stage. And suppose for when both the transistors are perfectly matched, you can say the QN transistor and QP transistor, they are nothing but NPN transistor and PNP transistor. are perfectly matched, then for input voltage is equal to 0, then the VBN VBE of N is equal to VEB of P. This transistor is equal to VBB by 2, and also at this time when you will apply input is equal to 0, that time the output is also equal to 0. Okay. And suppose a suppose if a bias voltage is applied between the bases of our Q1 and QP, then a voltage VBB by 2 across the base emitter junction of each junction, VBB by 2, the collector current IN is equal to IQ, that is equal to IC, can be represented as IS into exponential e to the power VBB by 2 times VT. Okay. Now here the value of VBB is selected to yield the required quiescent current. You can say that is IQ or ICQ. Now when V1 goes positive, when our input voltage goes positive by a certain amount, the voltage of at the base of the QN increases. Okay, the voltage at the base of the QN, that is VBN, also increases by the same amount, and therefore output becomes positive, and it is having almost an equal value of V0 is equal to Vi plus VBB by 2 applied bias voltage minus the saturation voltage minus VBEN. Right? Now the positive V0, or you can say the positive output voltage V0, causes a current, that is load current IL, to flow through RL. Okay, that will result to flow a current IL to flow through RL, and thus IN must also increase. Okay, this will, what it will make, a load current will flow through this RL, load resistance RL, and thus IN must also increase, and therefore you can write the equation as IN is equal to IL plus IP, ICN, or in other words, ICN is equal to IL plus ICP. Call this as equation number 2. The increase in IN or ICN will increase in the VBEN. Okay, and also supply IN, due to the supply IN. Okay. However, since the voltage between the two bases, that is VBB, is constant, the voltage, or you can say the voltage between the two bases remains constant at VBB. Okay. The increase in VBEN, okay, the increase in VBEN of the first NPN transistor, the increase in VBEN will result an equal decrease in VEB, okay, according to our transistor theory. and hence in also decrease in IC or IP, you can say, transistor current in the PNP transistor. Okay, and suppose at the same time as Vi goes negative, then what happens? The VBE decreases and also the output voltage decreases. At this time, QP sinks the load current from the RL and hence the IP increases, the EBP also increases, causing VBEN to decrease and hence ICN also decreases. And we can relate those things, that is IP and IN, that is equal to VBEN plus VEBP is equal to VBB. Okay, according to our diagram, and which can be written as the threshold voltage using Vt into natural logarithm of In by Is. Vt into natural logarithm of Ip by Is is equal to 2 times Vt into natural logarithm of Iq by Is. Okay, and now combining the terms that will yields to In into Ip is equal to I squared Q. Okay, as In increases, the input decreases by the same ratio while product remains constant. Okay, and therefore we can write it as I squared N into IL into In minus I squared Q is equal to 0. So similarly, the output resistance of class AB output stage can be calculated assuming that the source supply Vi is ideal, then the output resistance of class AB stage can be determined from the circuit of class AB output stage by writing the output resistance is equal to REN in parallel with REP, and where these REN and REP are the small signal emitter resistance of QN and QP respectively. At a given input voltage, the current IN and IP can be determined. The current IN and IP can be determined, and REN and REP are given by Vt by In is equal to REP is equal to Vt by IP. Therefore, the output resistance can be written as Vt by In in parallel with Vt by IP, that is equal to Vt by IP plus In. Since as In increases, the input decreases and vice versa. The output resistance remains approximately constant. The output resistance remains approximately constant in the region around when the input, that is Vi, is equal to 0. And this in effect is the reason for the virtual absence of the crossover distortion. Okay, thank you.